Hey guys, in this video I'll be ranking all the qualified IFBB Open Bodybuilding pros for the 2024 Mr. Olympia. This is basically my predictions list as well, since I won't be including qualified athletes who won't be competing this year like Behruz Tabani, Tonio Burden, and Nathan Diasha. While all these rankings or prediction videos are going to be inherently biased, I will try my best to objectively articulate where and why I place the competitors where I do. What is your ranking for the 2024 qualified competing IFBB pros for this year's Olympia? Let me know in the comments down below, and let's get into this ranking video. Starting off this list, in 16th place, I have Theo Laguerriere, a guy who I actually really like and want to see do well. The reason I have him so low is because I can't really see him battling anyone on this list, even though he's got tons of aesthetic flow and the ability to come in shredded. His main flaw, which may be disproven come the Olympia, is the fact that he can often get outsized, I'd say, by other competitors and look a bit underwhelming when it comes to the stage presence. He's super balanced and alone looks amazing, however, his structure isn't the widest, and he doesn't have, those ridiculous full insertions like some other competitors on this list. Like I said, I'd love to see him prove me wrong, however, as it is, I would have him in last place. Bruno Santos is up next in 15th, and honestly, I think he's gotten a lot of bad press due to the controversy at the Europa Pro, where he beat Andrea Presti pretty controversially, like I just said. While there's a clear divide on who should have won that show, I still think that alone he is a very competitive competitor, and also very complete when it comes to the full physique. Tons of mass all over, good proportions and flow, and a pretty underrated back. I will say that at the show he won, his quads and overall physique could have been drier and more separated. However, I'm sure he's focusing on bringing the best package of his life to the Olympia. With more chest thickness and arm size, I think he could be a serious threat to some slightly higher positions on this list. However, as it is, this is where I would have him placing. In 14th, I would have John Jewett, who could easily be higher if anyone above him doesn't bring the condition. His main strength is his ability to be shredded, with that thin skin condition and crazy details that he normally always has on the stage. However, his weakness, where he does get exposed by others, is in the overall size and thickness of his physique. While he may bring a dense look relative to his frame, next to other guys, he's not going to look as thick due to, his shorter stature. That said, with 1 to 2 more solid years of hard work, I think he could be a serious threat to that top 10, considering that he's already made significant improvements since he switched from 212. In 13th place, I have Mohamed Fada, who has great shape and aesthetic flow. However, I really can't see him beating other competitors further on this list due to some pretty glaring flaws. The main flaw I see within his physique is the asymmetrical, look, I guess, due to his scoliosis causing an imbalance in the lats from the front and in his entire back from behind. While he poses effectively to somewhat mask it in the frontal shots, from behind it is clearly evident, and the lacking back development only draws more attention. The second thing is the lack of granite-like condition, which I think would really make his physique pop if he brought it to the stage. Both showings he had recently were not the most impressive when it came to condition, so hopefully he can combine his aesthetic appeal and solid mass with some pretty crazy condition as well. John De La Rosa makes it into a respectable 12th place with the potential to move up considerably if he brings crazy condition. I think John is the type of competitor who thrives off of outconditioning his competition, since he isn't the biggest guy stature or muscularity-wise, but can show some incredible thickness and quality muscle. There's a reason he placed very well at this year's Arnold Classic Ohio, as well as at the Arnold UK, beating bigger guys who weren't as detailed or dialed in. That said, his Tampa physique was a bit underwhelming and leads me to believe that he may have some trouble peaking as well as he did at his amazing showings earlier in the year. Then again, that's all speculation, and we should not underestimate him, and I'm really looking forward to seeing where he's going to place at this year's Olympia. In 11th place is William the Conqueror Bonac, who I think can also place better if he brings something special or if others come in off. This is a shared sentiment for really anyone outside of the top 10, since these guys are all top caliber competitors and could place higher depending on what everyone brings on that given day. As for Bonac, I think that Father Time might be catching up to him, since although he's made a successful comeback at the Empro Spain, his body was nowhere near its prime. His arms are now downsized, his midsection is washed out and a bit wider, and his back is pretty asymmetrical. All things considered, he did beat a very competitive Beirut Tabani at the M Pro Spain, along with a pretty massive Crizzo, so who knows where he could place. Starting off in a very respectable 10th place spot is Akeem Williams, who I think could place higher if he brings let's say, an Arnold 2024 finals look to the Olympia prejudging. That look will surely turn some heads since he looked incredibly dry and shredded, while simultaneously matching the size of larger competitors like Samson Dauda. He's got the freak factor when it comes to the frontal poses and the side shots, having one of the best side chest poses and massive arms in the front double, but does fall short from behind. While the back poses only account for 2 out of the 8 mandatories, I do think that his completely missing lower back is a real eyesore and that it will hold him back at the Olympia. Because of this, I don't see him significantly higher. However, I feel like he'll place around the 11th to 9th place spot. Alright, this is going to be the first slightly controversial placing, which is going to be Brandon Curry in 9th place. Before anyone gets mad, let me explain. I think he can potentially place ahead of the next 2 competitors if he brings a 2021 or 2020 look to the stage. That said, I have my reservations on the chances of that happening for 2 main reasons. First, he's only getting older, meaning his chances of bringing up his already lagging legs are low. Second, his prep was super short for this year's Olympia, so I highly doubt we'll see some dramatic improvements. As much as I want to see him come and fight for the top 5, I think the competition is too fierce this year and a true miracle would have to happen for him to achieve a very high placing. Martin Fitzwater finds himself in 8th place, which is very impressive for an Olympia debut. A lot of people have been saying that he's a bit overhyped, however, I've compared him against the best of the best, and he's fared extremely well. He beat Brandon Curry's 2023 physique in my last comparison, and obviously pushed a guy like Nick Walker at the New York Pro. The guy literally has 0 true flaws apart from maybe his frontal arm separation, bringing a world-class back, amazing quads, and an incredible level of condition and detail. If he doesn't place within the first or second call-out this year, I'd give him 1 more year till he really shocks the lineup. I even think he could place higher than 8th if given the chance. However, the guys ahead of him are a bit more established and more refined in general, so I would keep him where he is. In 7th place is Rafael Brandao, who in my opinion has the second most aesthetic shape and flow to Andrew Jacked out of any open competitor. He really has 0 weak poses when it comes to the flow and proportion, bringing just the right amount of size to every shot. His only flaw, which matters when the margins are so close, is the condition, which falters when looking at his lower body from behind. His glutes and hamstrings need to be more dialed in than what we've seen from him earlier this year, and even some more lines in the chest and side leg would do him favors. Honestly, better definition all over would make him stand out for reasons other than his genetic shape, which could allow him to surpass the next competitor. Speaking of the next competitor, we have Hunter Labrada, who I think many people hate on too much. Many think he's been gifted placings in the past due to his last name. However, now I think he truly has the mass and condition to rightfully place where he does. His last appearance, the 2024 Italy Pro, was really not the best look, I will admit. However, other factors like the lighting and camera quality of the livestream definitely biased some people's opinions. While he's got some serious issues like the bony lump near his sternum, the messed up overall midsection, the torn pec, and generally the melted look, his sheer size and quality condition is unmatched by anyone thus far. I generally do think that his overwhelming size and most probably his improved condition will allow him to place well this year. However, the judges might also penalize him for his flaws, so I would probably have him in a comfortable 6th place. In 5th place is Nick Walker, who I think could shock us with some major midsection improvements come the Olympia. I'm almost certain that the New York Pro midsection flaw was due to a peaking issue and not a physical increase in the midsection tissue, and I think that he and his team knows that they need to come in more streamlined. Like Hunter, Nick has some major flaws, like the aforementioned wide waist and his mediocre frontal quad sweep. However, he's got some phenomenal arms and an amazing back as well, along with the ability to destroy others in most mandatory poses. Nick is a true example of hard work leading to success, and I am very excited to see where he's going to place, as long as he brings, good condition, peaks well, and comes in a bit more streamlined. In fourth place is Andrew Jack, who I think is easily the most aesthetically pleasing competitor in the entire men's open division. He's the best in the front double, front lat spread, and ab and thigh out of anyone currently, and has the ability to present razor sharp details from the front. His flaws come within the thickness of the hamstring and his overall posing from the side, as well as within his physique from behind. While he's got a pretty good back and obviously great arms, his hamstrings and glutes need more separation to be a top 2 or 1 competitor. His thickness from the side could be better, and I think this is where he falls short in general. That said, he's made phenomenal improvements in size and quality thickness within the last year, and if he can peak well at the Olympia, the show might just be his. In third place is Samson Dauda, who has the best combination of aesthetics, mass, size, and flow. His main weakness is the thin skin condition. However, it seems to have been working just fine for him thus far. I would want to see him bring razor-thin, Hadi Choopan-esque condition to the Olympia, and if he did, he would easily take home his first Sandow. He's actually competing the weekend of this video going up, so that should give us a solid idea of how he's going to look at the Olympia. As for his updates, I think he looks similar to what we've seen in the past, and I'm not really expecting anything special when it comes to the details in the glutes or the intricate detail overall. I do think that his back will be improved, and we may see him come in with a flatter, more detailed look like the Arnold UK. However, I do think the size game might be the right move considering the competition. All in all, he's balanced and complete, and if he combines the condition, he will probably win the Olympia. In second place, which may surprise some of you, is Hadi Choopan. As a fan, I do want Hadi to win and be the second competitor in history to win, lose, and then regain the title. That would be super cool to see, and while I would love for that to happen, I really don't know if that's going to happen. Look, he's arguably the best when it comes to the frontal condition and density, and beats others from the side when it comes to the razor-sharp midsection and bone-dry condition. Even his back is probably the second best currently, which easily allows him to place above almost anyone else. All that said, I feel as though he isn't going to make dramatic improvements from his last showings, since he came in at his all-time best at the Arnold, and it will be hard to surpass that package, while first place is going to probably be even more improved from what we've seen at the 2023 Olympia. The first place competitor, the man who is going to stop Hadi Choopan from getting the title in my opinion, is none other than Derek Lunsford. The reason I have him in first place is because I think he has the potential to bring something new to the stage, more so than Hadi, or really anyone else. His recent updates show more details in the chest, arms, and shoulders than we've ever seen. His back looks fuller and more developed than ever, and his quads seem to be retaining more outer sweep than in previous preps. From a fan perspective, I'm not really the most inclined towards Derek winning the show. However, objectively, he was able to win against Hadi last year, and with that mindset, what's stopping him this year, considering that he's even more improved? I do think that silhouette-wise, he's got a great X-frame and taper, and his back is probably the best we've seen in years, maybe even top 3, so he's got some great things going for him. I do think that first place and second place are extremely close, with neither dominating the other, so only time will tell who places higher. Anyways, let me know in the comments what you think and who you have winning. If you enjoyed, a like and sub would be awesome, and I'll see you all in the next one. Thanks for watching.